Hey there, guys. So, a few days ago, I was researching AI image generators. I was looking for a tool that um, would help me quickly generate ideas and concepts for future projects I'm working on. So, this is Easy Diffusion, and this tool really caught my eye. One, because it's free to use. Two, it's easy to install to your computer. And because it's installed to your computer, it's utilizing the hardware on your machine. So if you have a really fast graphics card, it's gonna generate images really quickly. And three, there's a lot of tools built in to Easy Diffusion that give you a lot of control over the quality and the visual style of the images that it's generating. So with all these images here, and this is just a small collection of some of the images that I generated during testing, but each of these images was generated within seconds. And even though they're using the same prompts and visual style parameters, they're all, completely different from each other. They have a different tone to the images, different details within the images, and they're all really nice. So let's jump over to the download page. A link to this page is in the video description. And if you scroll down here, this is where, depending on your operating system, you'll either download for Windows or Linux. And then once you do that, just follow the installation instructions right here. It's really straightforward and simple. And once I ran the installation, I want to say it took roughly around 10 minutes to install. And then once it's installed, you just go into the Stable Diffusion UI folder here and double click on this Start Stable Diffusion. And then once you do that, it'll just take a few seconds to load. And then here we are. Now we're in Easy Diffusion. Now this is the fun part. So I don't quite remember all of the prompts or the art styles I selected for those images that you saw in the beginning, but that's not as important. Part of the power of this and part of the fun of this is kind of just playing with different descriptions and different art styles and seeing what results you get. So I remember some of the prompts and some of the modifiers that I picked in those concepts, so I'll try to keep it as close as I can, but there will be some variation from those images, but that's okay. So the first setting that I do make sure is turned on is autosave images, and then you can just point where it saves. I have it pointing in the default location that Easy Diffusion had set up. But once you have autosave images checked, when it generates the images, which they'll pop up right here, it'll automatically save all the images in that folder. If you didn't do that, you would just have to go through and save your images out manually. So the first thing we'll do is we'll enter the prompt for the image. So basically, this is where we're just trying to describe to Easy Diffusion what kind of thing we would like Easy Diffusion to create. So what's within that image. So here, this is where I was thinking about some type of environment and then the detail within that environment, and I was trying to describe that to Easy Diffusion. So I know I used sci-fi. I used mechanical, generator, engine, tech, bunker, epic, and then let's go with skylight. So I was using words like this to try to, give Easy Diffusion enough to go off of. So I wanted to kind of describe a place and then also let Easy Diffusion know that I want it to feel, somewhat mechanical as well. So again, I don't know if all of these are exactly what I had put down for those initial images, but it was similar to this. So then we go down to the image settings here, and I would recommend you can choose the number of images that Easy Diffusion produces. I'd recommend keeping this at a low value at first, and the reasoning being is that even though it produces these images quickly, until you know kind of what styles and what description is really working for you, there's no reason to sit here and wait for like 6 images to generate. So it's kind of best to just start with a low value, and then once you're happy with all your settings, then you can crank this value up. And then for image size, I found that for at least for the environments that I was having Easy Diffusion generate, having the width set to 1024 and then the height set to 512 was giving me the best results. And then let's see, and then for image quality, the default set to 75. I cranked this up. I don't know how much of a difference that really makes, but that's just something I remember doing. And then under render settings here, show a live preview, it says uses more VRAM, slower images. I have a RTX 4090 though, so I did just turn this on. And basically all this does is instead of waiting for the image to complete and then pop in, it'll kind of show a live preview of the image being generated. And then I also did check scale up by, and it's by default set 4 times. I set it to 2. So what it's going to do is just double the image size once the image is generated. Okay, so now for image modifiers. So these are obviously, portrait previews for the modifiers, but if you know you're doing like an environment, you could switch this to landscape. Again, it's just for the, visual preview within the icons here. It's other than that, it's really no difference, but if you're doing an environment, maybe it's helpful to switch that. So for drawing style, let's go with line art. And again, some of these options are options that I chose for those initial images that I showed you at the beginning of the video. It may differ a little bit just because I can't remember all the settings that I went with. And then under visual style, we will go with concept art, digital art, and let's see here. Let's go with realistic. And then under camera, I'll go with cinematic. Let's see here. Studio lighting, golden hour, and HD. And then if we go down to color, we'll check beautiful lighting. And then under artist, art station, and let's see here. And then by Disney Animation Studios. And then under CGI software, let's go with Unreal Engine. And then under CGI rendering, we will go with creature design, cycles render, environment design, and then PBR. Okay, so this is what we'll try. Again, I know at some point I think I picked all of these settings. I can't remember if if it was a combination of all of them or if I ended up getting rid of some, but we'll see, what image we get from this, and then we can decide to remove some later on. But again, that's part of the fun of this. It's, kind of playing around with these settings and testing out stuff to, see what's working, what's not working, and then finally getting to something that's producing images that you feel, you can work with. So now I think what we'll do, we'll generate 2 images to test this. Okay, and then we're gonna hit make 2 images. Now just bear with me, there's, I don't want to speed up the video, I want to show this in real time just so you can see, how fast it produces the images. So there will be a little bit of waiting for the image to generate, so apologies for that. Okay, so now you can see it's processing the images right here. There's this bar moving. All right, so here's the first image generating. And here's the second. Yeah, and there you go, guys. I think that's looking pretty nice. Okay. And that time, the initial process actually took longer than it had in the past when I was testing. So let's go ahead and hit make 2 images again. I just want to see if it still takes that long. So we'll hit that. Okay. Yeah, there you go. This is more the speed I was getting, where the images would pretty much just pop right in. And here too, you can see the power of this. We didn't change any settings here. We just told it to create 2 additional images, and they're, again, completely different from the first 2. Okay. And then at this point, when I'm happy with this, I would set the value to something like 6. And now you can see the button change to say make 6 images. So now we just click that. And again, it's just going to go through and process these. I mean, look at that, guys. Look at how beautiful that is. All right, so there, look at that. In 1 minute and 27 seconds, it produced these 6 additional images. I mean, how cool is that? These 2 images were 29 seconds, and the first 2 were 53 seconds. But just incredible. So the other thing I wanted to show is, let's say, you're really happy with this image, but you'd like to see another variation based off of this. All you have to do is, in the image right here, just click this draw another 25 steps. And what that will do is it will use this image as a base. So it'll use this for the overall layout of the image, but it's going to add new details, and it'll be its own image entirely. It's just using this as a base for the design. So let's go ahead and click that. If you go to the top here it's processing. There you go, you can see it used this for the general layout, but again, completely new detail. It's its own lighting. But how cool is that? Amazing. And let's go ahead and just for fun, let's try this one too. Okay, so it's processing. And there you go. The original and the variation. So yeah, and just to show you how the autosave worked, so if we go to our stable diffusion UI folder, so where I have my folder for autosaves, it's in the profile, stable diffusion UI. Basically every time you open up Easy Diffusion and start generating images, it will create a new folder. So here's the folder with all of our images. So I'll just open these up, and I'll open up 9 of them just so you can see a few of them up on the screen together. So yeah, you can see the power of Easy Diffusion. I mean, just look at the variation and detail and lighting in these images. They're very inspiring, and I think this is a great tool for quickly generating initial concepts or just idea generation in general. If you're looking for something to help inspire you, I mean, this is the tool. It's just so fast. You could really just keep spitting out these images. There's no limitations to it besides, hard drive space. So it's definitely a tool I'd recommend. And guys, in the comments, let me know what you think of Easy Diffusion. Is this a tool that you're excited about? Could you see this being a part of your everyday workflow? Let me know. I'd really be interested to hear everyone's opinions on it. And guys, if you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and subscribe to the channel. And until next time, thank you so much for watching, and take care.